Hello. Luke's Gospel, chapter 2, verse 1. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire world. This was the first census that took place when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Luke's Gospel was written for people who had no understanding of Jewish history, Jewish law, Jewish customs, or Jewish anything. So to begin with, he has to give them some idea of when and where Jesus came into the world for you and me. To tell them when was easy. Wherever this gospel went, people would remember when the all-powerful emperor Caesar Augustus ordered them all to go home and register for taxation. You remember when Caesar sent you home to be taxed, says Luke? Well, that was when Jesus was born. To tell them where he was born was a different matter. Judea was an obscure little province that few people would have heard of. However, the next door province of Syria was governed by a famous politician of the day called Quirinius. It was here that he came to fame and fortune, says St. Luke. You remember where Quirinius rose to prominence? Well, this is where he was born. So these two famous men of their day, the Emperor Augustus and Governor Quirinius, get mentioned in the Bible. Once they've done their little job, they disappear from the Bible's pages, never to be seen again. And the spotlight falls on the real stars of the show. An obscure country carpenter and his teenaged wife, reduced to impoverished circumstances. Among other things, the Christmas story teaches us of the importance, in God's eyes, of ordinary people. Since fewer and fewer of us now live in little communities, and more of us live in sprawling urban conglomerations, it's easy to think that our lives count for little or nothing. Did you see on the telly about 3 weeks ago the old gent from Glasgow who thought COVID was a wonderful thing? For 3 years he'd lived in what was described as semi-sheltered accommodation. It looked just like a block of flats. He'd met and spoken to none of his neighbours through all of that time. And the outbreak had made them all pull together and improved his social life considerably. We badly need to remember the importance of ordinary people like you and me, because what we do matters and determines the fate of nations. How long will this pandemic last? How many people will it kill? Now that the thing is up and rolling, it does not depend on our governments, or our medical staff, or our scientists. Our governments, our medical staff, and our scientists could get everything right, and the wheels could come off all their attempts to overcome the virus if the rest of us continued to flout the rules and act selfishly. I hope you're able to safely spend some time with your family this Christmas. If you can't, remember this. The original Christmas wasn't about too much food, too much drink, and all the consumer goods you might well be able to do without. It was about the beginning of a life lived for others. ordinary people like you and me can do that too. Have a good Christmas. Bye bye.